statistics spread by agenda-driven feminists to prove that, quote, women almost never lie about rape is a lie. Across social media, on the airwaves, and on college campuses, you hear it claimed over and over again by advocates. Only 2% of rape allegations are false. The truth is that that number has no documented empirical basis. Experts who actually study false allegations of crimes have traced this phony factoid to a feminist author, Susan Brownmiller, who made the claim in an unverified citation in her 1975 book, Against Our Will. In fact, researcher Edward Greer discovered after attempting to track down Brownmiller's source that the 2% false rape rate is a complete, quote, ideological fabrication and has, quote, no basis in fact. Greer scoured the scientific literature on false rape allegations and found no published studies on the subject. Instead, he found that Brownmiller had cited the remarks of Lawrence H. Cook, a New York appellate judge, from a speech to the Bar Association in 1974. Cook asserted that the commander of the New York City's Rape Analysis Squad, quote, found only about 2% of all rape and related sex charges are determined to be false. Greer contacted the judge's staff, and no one remembered where he got the numbers from or could produce any press releases, reports, or data to support the claim. No matter. Feminist law professors and advocacy groups and journalists have recycled Brownmiller's bogus figure repeatedly. And it popped up again, blindly cited all over Twitter in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein scandal in Hollywood. Actual published research has documented false rape and sexual assault rates ranging from 8% to 41%. Retired NYPD Special Victims Squad Detective John Savino reported that in his NYPD's Manhattan Special Victims Squad, quote, our false report rate was in the double digits during all my years. Sometimes it was as high as 40%. A study in the Detroit suburbs found a false report of 32%. Savino and his colleagues Brent Turvey, a forensic scientist and criminal profiler who heads the Forensic Criminology Institute, and forensic psychologist Aurelio Coronado Mares provide real data and invaluable insights in their new textbook, False Allegations, Investigative and Forensic Issues in Fraudulent Reports of Crime. The bottom line, false rape allegations are far more common than you think. People lie for all sorts of reasons, from the need for attention to the lure of profit, out of anger, revenge, to conceal crimes or illicit activity, or because of addictions or mental health issues. They lie.
So, I haven't addressed Michelle Malkin on this channel before, and I had been meaning to for a long time because she had gone up to bat, just like Lauren Southern has her bullshit documentary exposing the supposed white genocide taking place in South Africa. Michelle Malkin went to bat for a particularly malignant, egregious case where a police officer named Daniel Holtzclaw was found guilty with abundant evidence of being a sex predator and being someone who was raping women on the job. Well, not other police officers, but women that he would accost, that he would claim were assailants. So this guy was abusing power, a super duper scumbag. And when he went to jail, it was one of the few times where I actually saw a cop get theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like a cop that was doing wrong was actually sent to jail. And a rapist who was doing wrong was sent to jail. And that rarely happens, if we're going to, this video is really about the way that the right wing manipulates empiricism. And I've always seen it as like a preemptive, kind of a preemptive strike, meaning like the right wing always knows that they're going to be debunked by data. They always know that what's politically convenient for them is going to be debunked by the facts. So tax cuts for rich people don't create jobs. They have to fabricate, or more often than not, to make a conspiracy theory work, you need a grain of truth. And what this playing with statistics does is it starts out with an agenda, and then it claws whatever data they can find. And if they can't find anything, they'll fabricate it completely. And then just if they have to fully fabricate, what they do is they'll attack the source of your data rather than the validity of theirs. But as I get into all these arguments with the alt-right, they always come back with statistics that prove their essentialist views on race, and statistics that prove their essentialist views on sex and gender. And they're always a conflation of some kind of existing numbers, or a compounding of some data and statistics until it says what they need it to say. So this creates tension, and this creates difficulty for us as leftists, because we do rely on reality, and we do rely on the scientific method. As much as on YouTube, skeptic reactionaries have claimed the mantle of the scientific method, they usually don't abide by it. They just take the patina and the mantle and the language of science, and then do the same thing, which is they cherry pick information, and then they slather it in the narrative. There are cases where I don't even think, for example, a lot of cases, leftists are forced to show statistics for things they shouldn't have to show statistics for. Like, you shouldn't have to show statistics to prove that gay people are not going to be inherently bad parents. But in order to get any traction for yourself in America, you sometimes have to show statistics to just debunk the agitprop of the other side. So no, you shouldn't have to show statistics for certain things, because you shouldn't have to prove something very basic. You shouldn't have to prove basic human decency exists in black people or gay people or trans people. But sometimes you have to collect the data anyway, because centrists, or sort of run-of-the-mill liberals, demand the data. They demand the data, and then maybe some of them take your side. Maybe some good faith liberals will take your side if you can give them the stats to back up defending you from the reactionary savages on the right. But to this video, and to Michelle Malkin's narrative, and the way that she really keeps on, she spends the whole video talking about how statistic analysis is unreliable, and muddying the waters about the statistics that have been collected by the other side. And then at the very end of the video, in an act of profound cognitive dissonance, she manages to turn around and say, oh no, but this textbook. It's very funny to me how the right wing in this country, and I guess worldwide, make appeals to they scoff at appeals to authority until they get somebody in a position of authority that agrees with them. So they scoff at celebrity endorsements in politics until they get a reality star or a hip-hop musician that agrees with them. Then all of a sudden, look who's agreeing with us. This is like part of the gaslighty, bullying tactics on the right, and sort of the inherent bad faith of power. I've touched on that before, that the reason the right wing lies is because the right wing operates on a basic maxim, basic assumption that all that matters is power, and once you have power, then truth becomes irrelevant. You just have to get the power. And again, tragically, under capitalism, that's true. As soon as you get the power, then you control the truth, because money is power, and in an environment where the press is privately owned, presto changeo, your money becomes power, and your power becomes influence, and your influence becomes, in the end, it becomes the truth, or it makes the truth difficult to resolve. It muddies the water. And again, you know, it seems cliche, but the whole speaking truth to power is really sort of the other part of that, of the job of the left, the proper left, not liberal center. The proper left is to speak truth to power and to tell power that they don't get to bend and break reality for the agenda of gaining more power, the agenda of maintaining their own power, their own existing privilege. That's what you do. You take it back. You know, truth is the means by which to take it back, and not necessarily the great, you know, liberal persuasion argument, but you just need to remind the people on your own side that they're not crazy sometimes. You know, the whole point of this channel here is to remind people that they are not crazy, to remind them that being compassionate is not unreasonable, that human compassion is not a weakness. So Michelle Malkin in this video starts to again, and she's using weasel words, up to 40%. Oh, it could, you know, it's at least double digits, almost 50%, because she, you know, you don't want to oversell it, so she couldn't go all the way up to 50% of rape allegations are false. Nobody in the legitimate field would tell you that nearly half of rape allegations are false. You know, I don't have to explain to the members of this audience the horrible nightmare that a woman is put through when she shows up with a rape allegation. There is no reward for making a rape accusation, especially against a powerful person. Even more so against a celebrity. There is no reward, there is only punishment. There's only shaming and humiliation and additional abuse. You know, cops terrorize women who make the accusation of rape unless it is cross-class or cross-race. If a wealthy white woman accuses a poor man of color of rape, then it gets the white glove treatment. It gets the premium. Because it confirms a reactionary narrative. Because again, you know, the reactionary narrative is not about empathy. It's about selective empathy. It's about the right victims, tactically siding with the right rape victims, tactically siding with the right rapist, depending on where they land on the chessboard. The left. For example, a lot of people on the left in my circle, when the Fox News sex scandals broke and these conservative women anchors came forward, they found open arms on the left, looking to, support them as victims and help them get redress for the crimes committed against them by the conservative men at Fox News. Everybody fucking forgets that when they go, oh no, you know, it's 12:01, so I guess another male feminist raped a woman. If you want to talk about conservative men having a rape factory, again, this is probably applicable to many corporations across the board if we're just going on data, right, on facts. Fox News had a massive problem with sexual harassment and rape happening in the workplace and women being terrorized by male co-workers. So, no, rape and sexual assault is not a male feminist thing, but men who are male feminists sometimes, number one, are either operating in bad faith or in order to get entree into access to young women, or they believed in these principles and then they failed morally to live up to their own standards. Both are equally a problem. But, you know, again, double-digit false rape allegations is absurd in a fucking country like this, where go ahead and turn on C-SPAN and watch the horrible treatment of the Kavanaugh accusers and how they are being absolutely skinned alive in the press by the political party that runs the entire establishment. So no, there are not double-digit rape accusers. And again, you will see this narrative continuously flip depending on who's doing the raping and what side of the political spectrum they're on.